Everybody in the kingdom of Ngene Hills feared one man, not because he was king, not because he was rich, but because Naudi the hunter never lost. Not a fight, not an animal, not even a woman. Tall, broad shoulders, tribal marks across his face. The kind of man mothers warned their daughters about while secretly hoping he would choose them. And for years, Naudi carried himself like someone the gods personally favored. Until he saw Chidebre. That girl changed everything. She was not the loudest maiden in the village. She didn't dance around men or chase attention. But the moment she walked through the market carrying water pots on her head, conversations paused, not because of beauty alone. There was something strange about her calmness, like she knew things other people didn't. Old women whispered about her mother. She came from the forest people. The child was born during the red moon. She carries something spiritual, but nobody ever proved anything. Still, men became foolish around Chidebre, including Naudi. At first he approached her like every powerful man does, confident, certain, smiling already like victory belonged to him. But Chidebre rejected him, softly, respectfully, repeatedly, and that refusal slowly poisoned Naudi's pride. Because in Ngene Hills, women did not reject hunters like him, especially not publicly. The whole village started talking. Some laughed quietly behind his back. Others enjoyed watching the mighty hunter lose control over a quiet village girl. That humiliation began changing him. His jealousy grew darker when he noticed another man around Chidebre, a calm young blacksmith who had almost nothing except kindness and patience. The type of man powerful warriors ignored. But Chidebre loved him, and Naudi could see it in her eyes. That was when obsession turned dangerous. One night inside the village drinking hut, Naudi stood up in front of everybody and made a terrifying declaration. If any man touches Chidebre, he will die by my arrow. People laughed nervously, but nobody missed the seriousness in his eyes. And suddenly, love became fear. Morph stopped walking freely at night. Chidebre friends begged her to stay away from him. Even elders began whispering that Naudi had lost his mind. But what nobody knew was this. Naudi himself was hiding something. A secret tied to the forest. A secret connected to strange disappearances near the sacred river. Because long before he became the kingdom's greatest hunter, Naudi made a promise to something evil. And now, that evil wanted payment. Blood dripped from Naudi's hand as he sprinted through the dark forest. Branches whipped across his face violently. Behind him, something moved fast. Not human, deep growling echo. Naudi turned suddenly, arrow shaking in his hand. Sweat covered his body despite the cold night air. Show yourself. Silence. Then, heavy footsteps circling, the bushes moved again. And for the first time in years, fear entered Naudi's eyes. Because the greatest hunter in Ngene Hills was being hunted himself. Back in the village, Chidebre woke, suddenly from sleep. Her chest tightened painfully, like invisible fingers had squeezed her heart. Beside her, her grandmother sat upright immediately, old, blind in one eye, but strangely alert. She has found him, the old woman whispered. Chidebre froze. Who? The old woman turned slowly toward the forest. The thing he promised his soul to. And at that exact moment, Naudi screamed somewhere deep inside the darkness. Morning market ambience. The next morning, the village gathered around Naudi's compound. Nobody had seen him return like that before. His body was covered in deep scratches. Mud stained his chest, and his famous hunting bow broken completely in half. Woman whispered nervously. What attacked him? Was it a spirit? No animal can destroy Naudi like this. Then suddenly, Naudi sat upright violently. His breathing came fast, wild, unstable, like somebody escaping death. And the first name that came out of his mouth was Chidebre. The crowd exchanged looks immediately, because obsession had now become madness. Hours later, Chidebre carried herbs to Naudi's hut reluctantly, not because she wanted to see him, but because elders forced her. Blood, smoke, something rotten underneath it all. Then she saw him. Naudi sat shirtless near the fire. His eyes locked onto hers instantly, too intensely, like a starving man seeing food. And that was when Chidebre noticed something terrifying. The scratches on his chest looked exactly like claw marks, human claw marks. He may die, they said. And the gods hate bitterness. As she entered the dark hunt, the smell hit her immediately. You should not have come, Naudi said quietly. Chidebre placed the herbs down carefully. I came because the elders asked me to. Naudi laughed softly, painfully. You still hate me. I fear you. Silence, heavy silence. Then Naudi stood slowly, his large frame casting shadows across the hut walls. You fear me because of what people say. No, Chidebre whispered. I fear you because something follows you. Sudden low rumble. Naudi froze instantly. For one brief second, actual panic crossed his face. Outside the hut, rain suddenly began pouring heavily. Thunder shook the sky, and inside the darkness, Naudi's voice dropped lower. You see things, don't you? Chidebre stepped backward slowly, because now she understood why her grandmother always warned her. Some gifts were dangerous. Naudi moved closer carefully. There's something in the forest. His breathing became uneven. And it wants me dead. Chidebre's stomach tightened, because deep down, she already knew. Then suddenly, loud scratching on hut roof. Both of them looked up instantly. The sound came again, long, slow, like sharp nails dragging across wood. Naudi grabbed his knife. Chidebre's face went pale, because she recognized that sound. Her grandmother used to describe it in stories. Stories about spirits that collect debts. And now one of them had arrived at Naudi's roof. The hut door burst open suddenly. Cold wind exploded inside. Firelight flickered wildly across the walls. Then everything went silent, too silent. Even the insects outside stopped making noise. Naudi tightened his grip on the knife. Sweat rolled down his face slowly. Don't move, he whispered. But Chidebre could already feel it. Something was inside the hut with them, watching, breathing, waiting. Then the shadows moved, deep distorted growl. Naudi stumbled backward instantly, and for the first time the mighty hunter dropped his weapon. A tall, dark figure stood near the doorway. Not fully human, not fully spirit. Its eyes glowed faintly inside the darkness, and its voice sounded like multiple people whispering at once. You promised. Naudi's knees almost gave out. Chidebre stared at him in horror. Promise? What promise? Tears filled Naudi's eyes suddenly. Real tears. Years ago, desperate to become the greatest hunter in the land, he entered the forbidden forest alone, and something answered him: power, strength, victory. In exchange for one thing, a human soul. Chidebre's heartbeat pounded violently, because now she understood. Every strange death near the river, every missing traveler, every shadow following Naudi. It had all been feeding, and now the spirit had returned for its final payment. Naudi had spent years becoming a monster, while secretly trying to outrun one. And beneath all the arrogance, there was simply a terrified man. The spirit grabbed Naudi's arm. Immediately, the scratches across his chest began glowing dark red. He screamed, pain ripping through his body violently. Then suddenly everything stopped. Instant silent. The wind vanished. The fire calmed, and the spirit disappeared completely, leaving only silence behind. Naudi collapsed onto the floor weakly, barely breathing. Chidebre rushed toward him instinctively. His eyes looked different now, lighter, free. Why? She whispered. Naudi smiled painfully, because loving someone, should not destroy them. By sunrise, Naudi was gone. Some said the spirit carried him away. Others believed the gods finally punished him, but nobody ever saw him again. And deep inside Ngene Hills, people stopped telling stories about Naudi the feared hunter. Instead, they told stories about the man who lost himself chasing power, and only found peace when he finally chose love over possession. The village thought the nightmare had ended after Naudi disappeared. But 3 nights later, Chidebre heard his whistle outside her window. Her entire body froze instantly, because everybody in Ngene Hills knew that whistle Naudi used during hunts. Short, low, sharp. The kind of sound that always came before something died. Chidebre sat upright slowly on her raffia mat. The room was dark except for moonlight leaking through the wooden window. Again, soft whistle in distance. Her heartbeat quickened painfully. No, impossible. Naudi was gone. Everybody said so. Even the elders performed cleansing rituals after his disappearance. So, who was outside? Her grandmother was already awake, all eyes staring toward the door. I told you, the old woman whispered. Spirits do not leave empty-handed. Then came the third whistle. Closer, much closer. Chidebre breathing became uneven, because this time she heard footsteps outside the hut, heavy, slow, dragging slightly against the sand. Footsteps approaching. Her grandmother stood suddenly, faster than an old woman should move. Do not open that door, she warned sharply. No matter what speaks. But then a voice came from outside. Weak, painful, Chidebre, her stomach dropped instantly. Naudi. She moved toward the door before thinking. Her grandmother grabbed her wrist violently. That thing outside may wear his voice. The warning sent chills across Chidebre's skin because deep down, she remembered the spirit's final words. You cannot protect what was never yours. Outside, the voice came again. Softer now. Please. A painful cough followed. Then silence. Chidebre chest tightened, because if that truly was Naudi, he sounded like a dying man. Slowly, against her grandmother's warnings, she opened the door creaking slowly, and immediately gasped. Naudi collapsed face first into the sand. His body looked worse than before, clothes torn, skin pale, fresh blood soaking through his shoulder, and wrapped tightly around one arm was a strange black chain. Her grandmother cursed under her breath instantly. No. She stepped backward. No. Chidebre knelt beside him quickly. Naudi. His eyes opened weakly, but something about them felt wrong. Fear lived inside them now. Permanent fear. They followed me, he whispered. Then suddenly the forest behind him moved. Both women looked up instantly. Dark figures stood between the trees. Tall, still, watching. Naudi grabbed Chidebre's wrist painfully hard. Close the door. She slammed it shut immediately. Outside, the footsteps stopped. Silence. Terrible silence. Naudi's breathing became ragged. They won't stop until they take me back. Her grandmother stared at the black chain wrapped around his arm, and whatever she saw there made fear flood her face completely. You broke the agreement. Naudi lowered his head weakly. I tried to escape. The old woman's voice trembled. You fool. Then she finally revealed the truth. Years ago, before Chidebre was even born, the forbidden forest spirits demanded sacrifices from certain families, not animals, humans. And Naudi's bloodline had served them for generations. Chidebre's mouth went dry. No, her grandmother nodded slowly. The strength Naudi carried, pause, never belonged to him. Naudi closed his eyes painfully. My father offered people to them. My grandfather too. His voice cracked. And eventually it became my turn. Chidebre stepped backward slowly in horror. Because suddenly everything made sense. The disappearances, the fear surrounding his family, the strange respect elders gave him. People weren't honoring Naudi. They were terrified of what followed him. Then Naudi whispered something that changed everything. I refused to give them you. Silence filled the hut instantly. The old woman's face hardened. What? Naudi looked directly at Chidebre. They chose her. Chidebre's stomach twisted violently. No, they wanted someone who could see spirits. Naudi continued weakly. Summoner powerful. He swallowed painfully. And when I refused, he looked down at the black chain. They marked me instead. Outside the hut, something scratched slowly across the walls. Chidebre's breathing became shaky because now she understood the truth. Naudi did not become obsessed with her because he wanted possession. He stayed close because he was trying to protect her in the worst possible way. And suddenly, all hatred toward him became confusion. Her grandmother began pouring herbs into the fire rapidly. Smoke filled the room instantly. We don't have much time. Naudi looked up weakly. There's one way to stop them. The old woman froze. No Chidebre rest. Looked between them nervously. What way? Neither answered immediately. That silence alone terrified her. Finally, Naudi spoke. The chain must be returned willingly. And if it isn't Chidebre, whispered. The old woman answered this time. Then the spirits will keep hunting until they collect another soul. At that exact moment, loud bang against hut wall. The entire hut shook violently. Dust fell from the roof instantly. Another bang, harder. Then came whispers outside. Dozens of whispers, all speaking at once. Naudi, bring her. Open the door. Chidebre. Covered her ears immediately because the voices sounded wrong. Like dead mouse trying to remember how humans speak. Naudi forced himself to stand. Barely stable, but determined. They're getting stronger. And that is exactly why the spirits cannot fully enter it. Another violent slam hit the hut. Wood cracked instantly. Chidebre jumped back in fear, because long black fingers were now pushing through the broken wall slowly. Searching, feeling, Naudi grabbed his hunting knife immediately. Stay behind me. For the first time, Chidebre obeyed without argument. The fingers suddenly withdrew. Then silence returned again. But somehow, that silence felt worse. Naudi looked toward the door carefully. They're waiting. Her grandmother handed Chidebre the calabash. No matter what happens, she held her face tightly. Do not let the chain touch your skin. Tears gathered in Chidebre's eyes. Grandmother, you must go now. Hut door burst open. Wind exploded inside violently. Fire scattered across the floor. And standing outside were the shadow figures, at least 7 of them, motionless beneath the moonlight. Chidebre entire body went cold because they did not have faces, only darkness. Naudi stepped forward slowly, knife shaking in his hand. You want me? The tallest shadow tilted its head unnaturally, then pointed directly at Chidebre. No, pause. We want her. Suddenly the shadows rushed forward. Chaotic screaming, wind roaring. Naudi attacked instantly, his blade slicing through darkness. The hut erupted into chaos. Wood breaking, fire spreading. Shadow figures crawling across walls unnaturally. One grabbed Chidebre's ankle violently. Ice-cold fingers burned against her skin. She screamed. Naudi slammed the creature away immediately. Run. Chidebre grabbed her grandmother desperately, but the old woman pushed her away. Go. Tears blurred Chidebre's vision as she ran into the forest beside Naudi. Branches tore across their skin. The black chain around Naudi's arm glowing brighter with every step. Behind them, the shadows followed fast. Too fast, and suddenly Naudi stumbled. The chain tightened violently around his arm. He screamed in agony. Chidebre stopped immediately. We can't leave you. Naudi looked up at her, pain flooding every inch of his face. You already saved me. Then he did something shocking. He handed her the knife. If I lose myself. His voice cracked. You must finish it. Chidebre stared at him in horror. No. But Naudi suddenly froze completely, his body becoming unnaturally still. Slowly, he turned toward her, and when he spoke again, the voice was no longer fully his. Bring her to us. Chidebre stepped backward in terror. because the darkness had finally entered him completely. And now, the man who once protected her was hunting her again.